influenció a hacer arte también.
Vine a ver al Miclo.
Hey, Micro, un minuto aquí, ya tienes flores.
So my name is Michael Ocho Torina, but I'm living proof that someone can change.
I've done some bad movies. Anybody can make it. VATOS LOCOS forever.
Aquí estoy en los Estados Unidos en el Paisa Grill y llegaron tanta gente para ver a Damián Chapa, a Miklo de la película Sangre por Sangre, Blood In, Blood Out. Vamos a preguntar a las personas aquí cómo es la vida chicana o la vida mexicana aquí en los Estados Unidos. Vamos, amigos. Unos vatos reales.
¡Cielos, qué macizo!
¡Ey! Llegaron, como vieron en el video, los vatos locos reales. ¿Cómo está, amigo?
Bien, sí.
Muy bien. Y ese vato, mira. ¡Ey, Carlos!
Los promotores, güey.
¿Y tú te consideras chicano o mexicano? ¿Y cómo es la diferencia entre la vida de una persona, por ejemplo, que nace en México, viene aquí?
La vida de chicano es diferente. Hay mucho en la cultura, como los lowriders, las biclas. Y la vida de mexicano que cruza es mucho diferente. Ellos crecen como en el rancho, en caballos.
¡Ey, vato loco! Gracias, amigo. Dude, what do you like about Blood In, Blood Out?
Everything, the family,
Everything.
the bond. It's all about family, you know. Everybody sticks together. These are my brothers right here.
These are your brothers.
Tres hermanos, you know. Three delinquents.
¿Y hablas español?
Sí, yo hablo español.
¿Y naciste aquí en los Estados Unidos o en México?
I actually grew up here.
You
my
grew
whole
up
life.
here?
Yeah.
Ok, ¿y tus papás?
Mis papás son de México.
¿De México cuál parte?
Hidalgo.
Entonces tú eres chicano.
Of course, Chicano for life.
¿Qué
Yeah.
te gusta más de la vida chicana, de ser chicano?
You know, just living up to our culture, you know, we got to live up to our generation that we want Cinco de Mayo as well. Because then at first I was like, yeah, you know, I'm not a Mexican, but then knowing about our history of like what we went through, then yes, of course, like being Chicano and being a Mexicano as well
Sí.
is like proud. Like you got to be proud for that.
¡Ey, vato loco, ¿cómo estás?
Bien,
Aquí, ¿quién vas a conocer?
Miclo.
Miklo. ¿Y estás emocionado?
Claro.
¿Es la primera vez?
Es la primera vez que viene creo que acá y pues hay que verlo.
Es una película más o menos violenta, ¿verdad? Tal vez no para los niños chiquitos, pero todos dijeron que está tan bueno que a fuerzas tenían que verlo.
Sí, claro, pues es que te habla de la vida, de la realidad de la vida, de la calle.
¿Y tú eres chicano?
No,
¿O eres mexicano? ¿Cómo es la vida en los Estados Unidos comparado con la vida en México?
pues la diferencia es la economía, ¿verdad?
Ah, la
Aquí,
economía.
Lo económico aquí es mejor. Allá pues le batalla uno más, pero aquí sí vive uno mejor, ¿verdad?
Me dijiste que no naciste en México, ¿verdad?
No.
¿Dónde naciste?
En Whittier, California.
Y creciste en Los
LA,
Ángeles.
todo Los Ángeles.
En East LA. Ok. ¿Y cómo es la vida chicana en East LA? ¿Es como la película en
Sí.
Sangre por Sangre?
Es dura, es dura.
Es
Ya.
dura.
Muy pobre, muy humilde, mucha ganga.
Entonces, para ustedes, ¿qué define una persona chicana?
Bueno, hablamos inglés y español. Hablamos
Ok, los dos.
Y mayoría de los chicanos nacimos aquí y pues fuimos a las escuelas aquí, nos crecimos aquí. Pero mis papás vienen de México y nacidos allá.
¡VATOS LOCOS forever! I love you guys!
¿Tú pintaste eso, no?
Sí, eso es mi arte, mira.
Wow.
Puro airbrush. Estilo
¿Tienes
chicano.
un negocio o algo? ¿Cómo?
Sí, mi negocio es Juice Tattoos. Juice_tattoos on IG.
¿Cuándo fue la primera vez que viste la película Blood In, Blood Out, Sangre por Sangre?
Tuve como unos 4 años. Todos mis amigos crecimos con esa película y me influenció a hacer arte también.
¿Cómo podrías explicar el estilo chicano?
El modo que nos vestimos, el modo de hablar, que hablamos, el modo de cómo tratamos a la gente. A ti,
Vatos locos.
por siempre.
Forever.
Forever.
Él dijo que ha visto algunos de mis videos. ¿Es cierto?
Sí, es verdad.
¿Eres de dónde?
Yo soy de Jalisco.
De Jalisco. ¿Nos puedes explicar un tantito la diferencia entre vivir aquí, la vida mexicana en los Estados Unidos? y en México?
Aunque la vida aquí es un poco más ajetreada, trabajas más duro, todo cuesta, aquí nada es gratis.
¿Tu hija nació aquí en los Estados Unidos?
Sí, ella nació aquí.
¿Te identificas con la cultura chicana más o mexicana?
Yo creo que soy de los tres porque a mí me encanta la música mexicana, me encanta mi cultura, no quiero como olvidarme de ella porque estoy aquí, me encanta pues todo de los chicanos y con los güeros pues tienes que cambiar un poco para que sean más amables contigo porque eres diferente.
Es muy diferente.
Para ser aceptado.
¿La comida mexicana en los Estados Unidos sí es buena o es mucho mejor en México? ¿Qué piensas?
En mi opinión es mucho mejor en México.
Sí.
Mucho.
Sí.
Aquí nada que ver la comida
Nada
mexicana
que ver.
estadounidense con la mexicana, con
Pero
la real
hay
mexicana.
algunos restaurantes que has visto aquí.
Este es uno de los que más me gusta,
Es uno-
el que más me gusta.
Ah, ok.
El
Del Paisa Grill.
El Paisa
Ok.
Grill.
Hermano, ¿qué hacen?
Vine a ver al Miclo.
¿Hace cuánto viste esa película? ¿Te acuerdas de la primera vez o ya fue mucho?
Hace como unos casi 30 años.
¿Cuáles diferencias has visto entre la vida aquí y en México?
Casi la mayoría de los americanos nos tratan bien. Uno que otro es como en México igual. Hay gente que es clasista, racista.
Mi vato Red es rapero.
¿Qué tranza? ¿Todo bien?
¿Mexicano o chicano?
Mexicano.
Mexicano.
Ya,
Ok. ¿Cuáles diferencias ves entre personas mexicanas aquí en los Estados Unidos y gente chicana?
Pues en México la gente está más loca todavía.
No puedo argumentar nada ante esa lógica.
Por eso a los gringos les gusta irse.
¡Un poco loco!
¡Güerito!
¿Cómo estás?
Perfecto, excelente.
¿Cuándo fue la primera vez que viste la película?
Hace como 20 años atrás, tal vez.
20 años atrás. ¿Y viste una película tan fuerte a los 12 años?
Me gusta, yo soy cholo de barrio.
Cholo de barrio, de veras.
Vato loco por siempre.
Tú eres vato loco para siempre. Amigo, ¿cómo te llamas? ¿Puedes introducirte al canal, a mis seguidores?
So my name is Michael Ocho Torrena, and no one can pronounce Ocho Torrena.
Ocho Torrenas.
So, but they call me Ocho. So everyone in the movies knows me as Ocho.
And why do they call you Ocho?
Oh, you
Oh, no, it's okay.
And that right there is Miklo.
¡Eh, vato loco! ¿Qué
Vatos
haces?
Locos
¿Qué andas
forever.
haciendo? ¿Por qué te llaman así? Ocho. ¿Es apodo?
It's
Why-
because
why do they
Ocho
call you?
Torrena is short Ocho, so 8. You know, everyone. I was in gangs when I was younger.
Oh, really?
So I was in gangs. I'm from California, San Bernardino. So my early childhood, I was into a lot of bad stuff. I was a Southside Crip.
Oh, really?
And I was in and out of juvie prison and prison. I did a lot of time in prison, and I was also in a Mexican gang in prison as well for many years.
Is that what all the tattoos are
Yeah,
for? Like,
yeah.
what can you show?
So I got the one on my face. I got other gang tattoos. I was a really horrible person. I did horrible stuff, but I'm living proof that someone can change.
That is so
thanks
awesome.
to God. Thanks to God, someone can change. Someone can turn their life around. And with the help of God, you can become a new person with second chance.
That is so awesome.
And so God blessed me. I've been in 184 movies now.
184 movies? What?
Some not so good, some good. But I'm a SAG actor, so I've got to meet big, huge actors. I've got to act alongside huge actors. One of them being Damien Chapa. We played together in Mexican Connection. I'm the bad guy, he's the good guy.
Really?
Yeah. So someone that I grew up idolizing now is one of my best friends. You know?
So do you feel that in your role, a lot of your roles, do you play good guys? Do you play bad guys? Do you play a tough guy? What?
I'm not gonna lie, typecasting, you know, the way I look, and then I change my voice. It's typecasting, but you know what? I'm not gonna complain because I grew up poor and I get paid now, you know?
Oh, yeah.
But I also try, I'm also a filmmaker myself. I try and do faith-based movies too, but not those cheesy ones you see on Hallmark. I have ones that have to do with real life, like drug abuse, prison, homelessness, sex trafficking, and in the end, the message is that God is the answer to everything.
Do you know where are your roots in Mexico? Like what state?
We are from. We've been Chicanos from I guess since Mexico was the United States.
Really?
So my family has family back in California. So you know, we are I guess, the true definition of Chicano. I appreciate you interviewing me, and my thing is I go now and I speak all over the country. I'm a motivational speaker as well as an actor and a pro wrestler. And
A pro wrestler?
Yeah, I'm a pro wrestler.
What?
I'm Hollywood Ocho.
Can you put me in a headlock right now?
I can put you in
Do
a
it, do it, do it.
¡Qué buen servicio!
He was just in a headlock by Hollywood Ocho, who will soon be the heavyweight champion of the world. I just want to say that all the stuff now that I'm doing, without God, without my family, I wouldn't be where I am today. And I do the motivational speaking to let people who have come from the same life as me and the same journey as me know that there are second chances. And you can change your life if you really want to. You can get out of the drug life, because I was a heroin addict for many years.
Wow.
And you can leave drugs, you can leave crime, you can leave a prison life and be someone above what other people will expect of you. And you know what I mean?
Qué mensaje muy fuerte, amigo. Have you ever done lucha libre in Mexico? Would you ever go do
so
that?
So now I am a half owner of a wrestling promotion, and we have affiliates in Mexico, Japan, and Canada.
Really?
So soon Hollywood Ocho will be coming to Mexico.
So awesome. Thank you so much, amigo, for your time.
Thank you, man. And I just want to say, Hollywood Ocho, Instagram, Ocho8mm, look me up or else.
Adiós, vaquero.
Tengo alguien muy especial conmigo. ¿Cómo está, Damián?
He speaks better Spanish than I do.
Hace 30 años pasó algo maravilloso. ¿Y qué fue, mi amigo?
Esta película, Sangre por Sangre, you know, it's a very interesting movie. It's 30 years ago, but it keeps growing and growing. Like now we're doing the 30-year anniversary tour around the United States. And by the way, the rest of the world, international también. To me, it's quite amazing while we did this movie 30 years ago and how the audience keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It
just doesn't stop.
It just keeps going. Like I get off in places like Sweden, and I'll go off a plane, and 3 white girls come up to me with white hair, you know, from the countryside. Vatos Locos forever with his Swedish accent. And then like an old granny from Germany comes up and says, "Oh, Vatos Locos," you know. And it's like Japan. You know, the people from Japan come up and I'm over at El Pino. We're doing the 30-year tour over there, and me and Jesse were over there by El Pino. And you know, Japanese tourists come up and say, El Pino, and they know it from
that is
all
crazy.
over the world.
Is like Sweden, Japan, the craziest places where you've been the most surprised that people know who you are and the impact that it's had?
Yes, I think it there, and also I was in Bulgaria once. You know,
Bulgaria?
Bulgaria, Eastern Europe.
Wow.
And I got off the train, and somebody runs up to me. I didn't know if I was getting robbed, and you can't carry over there, and you know, you just got
Right.
He comes in and says, "Hey, Vato Loco forever."
Can you remember the first time when someone approached you in public for your work, and how did that feel? Do you remember that very first time?
It's interesting because when Blood and Blood Out was put out in the world in theaters, I should say in the United States, you know, it had a very difficult, rough road because it was during the riots and all that time, and Disney didn't know what to do with the film. You know, they were afraid of it because, you know, Disney did Blood and Blood Out.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you knew this.
It was a big $35 million production, right? Budget,
but
it's a big movie.
They weren't used to doing a film with this intensity and you know, violence and whatever. So they put it out, and then a lot of the executives told Taylor Hackford, you know, they were like, "Hey, this is too much for us. You know, maybe, you know, Mickey Mouse shouldn't have done this, you know."
Oh boy, pal, no.
So, but it came out, and they said, "Wait a minute." They saw me in the poster. Now, there's a few things I haven't told anybody. Maybe a few people have, but, you know, there was a poster, Blood in, Blood Out. And I was in the middle, and, you know, I do have blue eyes, so they showed the blue eyes. And
right.
We had the 2 guys on the side, Jesse and Cruz. I should say Jesse Cruz and Paco Ben and myself, Miklo in the middle. And it was Blood in, Blood Out. So they got a hold of it, and there was a fight in the movie theater somewhere in Vegas or something like that. So Disney pulled the plug on every thing and said, "Wait a minute. We can't release this film. This is too much." They took the poster. They took my eyes and they colored them brown, and they colored me more brown, which is very interesting part of history of this film. And they said, we're not going to call this Blood and Blood Out. We're going to call it Bound by Honor. You know.
Oh, I was reading that on the Wikipedia.
Yeah.
But
So
okay, I was wondering.
they try to change. They tried to, how do you say, homogenize? Is that the word?
Or make it whatever. They
tried to make it a little bit less violent.
more Disney.
More Disney, yeah. More Mickey Mouse. And they released it, and there was more fights, and they finally pulled the plug. So here I was as an actor, my first movie, $35 million film, this big weight on my shoulders. Everybody in the inner family loved it, of course. We were very proud of it, but it didn't get a release, a correct release.
Right.
So they kind of shelved it. So we were very sad that the release got stopped. But 2 years later, somehow they got it released on video. Back then it was Blockbuster. So I was in some kind of old store in LA, I can't remember where it was, but some kid walks up to me and goes, "Hey, Miklo," like that. And I said, "Oh, hey, wait a minute, I got recognized. Maybe you saw me at the premiere or whatever." No, I saw it on the video on Blockbuster. So then when it got to Blockbuster, it became a cult classic. And it's quite interesting because you can't see it on a lot of streaming channels or anything. You know, people are just seeing it at a few places.
Your life experience prepared you for the role because the role was almost literally made for you.
Yeah, it's
right.
It's very strange. It's like I told Jan before, who was interviewing me, a lovely girl. You know, it's very similar to my life. You know, because my mother was white and my dad was Mexican, Chicano. You know, and I knew what it was like to struggle to kind of fit in both sides. Actually, you know, you go to one side and I used to hear a lot of discriminatory back then. Discrimination was kind of more prevalent, you know. It's like I'd hear some of my cousins.
In the family.
My cousins would say that taco eating, you know, whatever these crazy little things kids do or whatever. And then I would go to the Mexican side and hear, you know, most people accepted me and were very warm, but you'd hear, oh, that white boy or that. So I knew what it was like to be Miklo before I was Miklo, but I was Damien Chapa. So, you know, that really prepared me for the role. But when I went to go read, I didn't go read for Blood and Blood Out. Nobody even told me about Blood and Blood Out. I'd only done theater and a couple of readings, and I went in for this movie called The Bridge. And when I went in there, I was reading the lines, the sides, and some guy walks up to me, Rick Pagano, and he says, "Hey, are you here for Miklo?" I go, "What's a Miklo?" And he hands me the sides, and it says, "Blue-eyed Mexican." I was like, wait a minute, how does this happen, you know? And so I read the lines, and I start to see. So when I did this first screen test, which I thought was very well done, director called me up and said, "Look, they're ruined, you have to do it again." So I was kind of destroyed about it, but I went and redid it, and he called me about a week later and said, "Hey, Miklo, let's do it, let's go meet."
We know you've been traveling all day doing interviews, you're probably super tired. To finish off is we're gonna play a little game. Tengo tres preguntas de trivia para ti, de tu carrera, de la película, and we have Twix, 3 Twix bars. So for each correct question, a Twix bar. Unless you don't want to eat.
No, I love Twix.
Oh, you want to eat? Okay, here we go. Primera pregunta, amigos, es, how many credits do you have on IMDb for acting?
Oh my gosh. God, I've done some bad movies and some good ones. I think maybe acting, right? 47?
Ooh, más. Has hecho más.
I've had more. God, there's been so many I forgot. 67?
Yeah,
I got it.
66, yeah, muy bien.
I mean, I'm just guessing over here.
Twix,
hey, I get a Twix.
Eso.
I love it.
Muy bien, bravo. Segunda pregunta, okay. If you
the hell with my diet.
If you look up your name on YouTube and then you find the video with the most views, what video has the most views and how many millions of views does it have?
Millions, oh my God.
Millions on YouTube. It's a movie.
It's a movie.
It's a movie. Yep.
Millions of views.
Yeah, what movie do you think would be at the top of YouTube for views?
My movie?
Yeah.
Not Blood and Blood Out.
No.
Oh.
At least I hope it's your movie. I did research.
Oh my God,
I hope it is.
Would it be Mexican Gangster?
No. Well, Mafia Man?
Mafia Man?
Yeah, Mafia Man. Yeah.
That was one of my worst movies. No, I like it. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, on YouTube.
You gotta send that to me. Now I'm very
I'll
proud
send
of
it
this.
to you.
I thought it was a bad film. I guess it's good. No, actually, I actually really love that film. I'll tell you why. Because my father, who passed away, and he loved all this Blood and Blood Out stuff. You know, Puro Chicano. You know, And he did that movie with me. And he played a part, and he was
Really? What was his part?
He was the lead, the father, and I think I put everybody in my family. And I really didn't mean to say it was bad. I'm just kind of like insecure about it, you know. But I'm very fascinated that film has millions.
Yep, 4.3 million views on YouTube.
incredible.
That's amazing. Okay, third. So no Twix for that one. You're at 1 Twix.
Finished.
Okay, last one. What was the wide release date for Blood In, Blood Out?
The wide
The
release.
date.
I have to give the month too.
The month.
The month too.
And you've already got the year.
Okay, I got 1993 right.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, when would they release that film? Well, I think it was during the riots, was it? I don't know. I'm not going to get this right, but I'm going to try because I need another Twix. Let me see here. How about June?
Oh, Abril.
Abril.
30 de Abril.
Hey, I meant April.
Okay, how about this? Half the Twix.
I'm joking.
Half the Twix. Is there any advice that you want to give to people who grow up as a Chicano in the United States or Mexican or whoever has an affiliation with the Mexican culture?
Well, you know, I think that when I was young and I used to fight with my cousin all the time about all these political things. You know, she would always say, you know, because she was really in that movement, the kind of like Chicano movement, and, you know, which, by the way, back then was necessary, I think. Or I should say more necessary than it is now. But I look around and I see, like, everywhere I go, you know, and when you hear people say, I'm a victim all the time and I'm a minority, I look around, my people are not victims. Raza is not victims. We are the power now. We are the people. We are the population. We used to have a hard time, especially certain members of Raza, they had hard times getting into doors. But now Raza is the door. We're coming here. They're trying to fight to survive. They may not be going to Ellis Island like everybody else did. They may be going to the South, in Texas. But they're just trying to come and assimilate and do what we all did. I think that the Chicano community, specifically, the Mexican-American community, we're doing so well. We're not victims. We don't need to hear people give us all these inferiority complexes from our own community about, oh, how poor you are and how difficult it is for you. This is America. It's only difficult if you want to make it difficult. But if you fight hard, and you try hard and you work hard, anybody can make it here.
Damián, muchísimas gracias. Fue un placer, un honor.
VATOS Locos forever.
VATOS Locos forever. Eso.
Hey, this weddle's all right, man.
Hey, Micro, un minuto aquí, ya tienes flores.
Hey, it's not very often a guy my age gets flowers from a young, beautiful woman. But let me tell you, I'm very thankful.
VATOS Locos forever. Miklo, nos vemos, amigos.
Hey, thank you very much. You did a great job as usual, man.
Ah, gracias, amigo.
I wish I had a Twix bar right now.
Es bellísimo.